let's talk NFC. 49ers. They won the NFC West. Went to the Super Bowl last year, 12-5, lost to the Chiefs again in overtime. Still don't understand why Kyle Shanahan did not kick the ball off to start overtime, but we're well past that now. Second in total offense. They scored 61 offensive touchdowns last year. They averaged 400 yards per game. Shanahan's filthy, especially when you add McCaffrey to that lineup. They were the fourth passing offense, third rushing, and number one red zone offense. They're filthy. I mean, the Niners are the Niners. Like, what do we expect them to fall off a cliff this year? Unless Purdy gets hurt, that's not happening. I promise you. They ranked 8th in total defense last year, so their defense is still good. My biggest question, though, is the window closing. You got Ayuk making top dollar. Debo making top dollar. Kittle making top dollar. McCaffrey making top dollar. Bosa making top dollar. And guess what? They still haven't even paid Purdy. So they can't keep this team together like this forever and continue to pay everybody. I don't know. I don't think the window is closing. But if they don't win this year, and then you got to start paying Purdy, no way you're going to be able to keep Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, and Trent Williams. Trent Williams just got announced today that they're expected to sign that extension, and he's flying back to San Francisco today on a Tuesday. So great to have him back. Obviously, without him, they're nowhere near as successful. But you're talking about premier left tackle, premier tight end, 2 top-end receivers, the highest-paid running back, and then one of the highest-paid defensive ends. You can't do it. You can't build a roster. And Fred Warner. I forgot about Fred Warner, who also makes a boatload of money. They got to win it this year. I really think they do. I'm not saying they'll never win it with Purdy and Shanahan, but it feels like right now is maybe their best opportunity. They've been in the conference championship game 4 of the last 5 years, 2 Super Bowl appearances, lost to the Chiefs both times, but the Ayuk extension cost them 4 for $120, 76 guaranteed. Was it worth it? We'll find out. You better be the number one. But then what is Debo? And then Greenlaw, who maybe the most sickening injury I've ever seen just running onto the field and you tear your Achilles in the Super Bowl. That sucked. When will he be back? He was placed on PUP, so he'll miss the first 4 at least minimum. And then, we'll briefly touch on this. That Ricky Pearsall incident was really scary. Shot through the chest at a mall in San Francisco. Thankfully, he's okay. Placed on the non-football injury list. Hopefully they can get him back healthy and he can play football again and be, productive for them, because they were really high on Pearsall and they drafted him in the first round for a reason. So, just hoping he gets healthy and recovers nicely heading into the season. No real big losses to mention. Nobody that you're going to jump off the page and be like, whoa. They lost Eric Armstead, I guess, that, and Kinlaw, guys that have been there for a couple years. But I don't know. I think the Niners will be just fine. All right, let's talk to the Rams. 10-7 last year. Lost to the Lions in the wild card. Maybe the best playoff game all last year. That atmosphere was ridiculous. Stafford back in the Lions playing in their first playoff game in forever. What does the defense look like this year without Aaron Donald? What is it? Somebody made the point the other day, were all those defensive coordinators that got coaching jobs actually good, or were they good because they had Aaron Donald? We're about to find out. Now, they do add 2 new guys on the defensive line that were actually teammates in college, both rookies, Jared Verse and Braden Fisk from Florida State, both named starters as well, so there's going to be some continuity there. Can those 2 guys combine to give you the same production as Aaron Donald? But I think he was doubled 300 plus times, 500 plus times in the season last year. Like, nobody's going to replicate being doubled that much, leaving your other guys one-on-one. 2 new coordinators. Mike LaFleur comes over from the Jets. He'll be familiar with Sean McVay's offense. Expect that offense to be just as good. Chris Shula, 8th season with the Rams. Grandson of Don Shula. That guy's got a crazy football brain. I expect the defense to be fine this year as well. They ranked 20th last year. If they can make some improvements this year, that'll help them maybe possibly win the division. And then Cooper Kupp. Triple Crown winner 2 years ago. Injuries last year. If they can get Cooper Kupp back to Triple Crown, Cooper Kupp and Puka to play like he did last year, watch the fuck out. because that's maybe two of the best, not maybe, that's two of the best receivers in the NFL on the same team with Stafford, who never gets enough love throwing him the football. Rams, I expect a nice year from them. They also had Blake Corum, third-round pick from Michigan. 56 rushing touchdowns at Michigan. That's the most in their program's history. That team's been playing football since the 1900s. Like, Blake Corum is a monster. A lot of people think don't know if I'm necessarily one of them yet, but a lot of people expect Blake Corum to take over that job eventually at some point in the season. You can kind of already read the tea leaves with Kyren Williams returning punts. Usually you don't want your starting running back returning punts and taking unnecessary hits. We'll see what happens. Add a couple guys in the back end, Tre'Davious White, Cameron Curl. And then they lose Cam Akers, Van Jefferson, and Ernest Jones. So couple departures there, but Rams will be good this year. Might even pick them to win the division. We'll see here coming up in a little bit. Seahawks, 9-8 last year. They were 0-4 versus the Rams in the Niners. So they were 9-4, or excuse me, they were 7-4 against everybody outside their division. Not great. Don't love that. No Pete Carroll for the first time in 14 years this year. Mike Macdonald, new head coach. 9 of the last 10 years with the Ravens. Last 2 as the DC. Their defense will be filthy. 100%. Mike Macdonald's a hell of a defensive coordinator. Excited to see what Seattle looks like. Maybe getting back to that Legion of Boom type of era of playing just elite defense every single Sunday. Ryan Grubb's new OC. Spent the last 2 years in Washington. See if he can add some new dynamics to this team. Do they have the best wide receiver room in football? We'll find out this year. Jackson Smith-Njigba, freak. Tyler Lockett, freak. DK Metcalf, super freak. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I like their receiving core a lot. Jackson Smith-Njigba, big time year coming, if you ask me. Sam Howell's their new backup. Nice. Happy that he stayed in the league after getting treated like shit by Washington. Byron Murphy, rookie D tackle, listed as a backup. He'll get snaps this year. Dude can just stop the run like nobody's business. And then they get a couple other guys. Laviska Shenault, depth at wide receiver as well. They lose Drew Luck, Bobby Wagner, and Jamal Adams. They'll be fine. Mike Macdonald will have this defense humming without a doubt. Let's talk Cardinals quickly. 4-13 last year, missed the playoffs. They're 1-11 against the division in the last 2 seasons. 1-11. That's dog shit. They were 19th in total offense, 25th in total defense last year. Obviously, Kyler only played 8 games last year, 1,800 yards, 10 touchdowns, 5 picks. Don't love the 5 picks there, but Kyler's electrifying. If he's healthy, they're going to be pretty damn good. And what does it look like with Marvin Harrison Jr.? Marvin Harrison Jr. has been touted as the most pro-ready wide receiver to come in the NFL in maybe 2 decades. I'm not sure. But Marvin Harrison Jr. could have played in the NFL last year. 100% he could have played in the NFL last year. Probably could have played in the NFL after his freshman year at Ohio State. What will the offense look like with him as the number 1 wide receiver? Can he potentially win Offensive Rookie of the Year? If you're a Cardinals fan, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for progression from Kyler and Marvin Harrison Jr. And what does this team look like year 2 under Jonathan Gannon? Kyler hasn't played a full season since 2020. Don't love that. Can he play a full season this year? They got to protect him if they're going to make that happen. They got a new right tackle, Jonah Williams from the Bengals. That helps with the Kyler Murray stuff. They had Sean Murphy Bunting in the back end. That's pretty much about it. They had Zay Jones as well, but he's suspended for the first 5 games. So not expecting too much from the Cardinals this year. I am going to pick the 49ers to win this division. I thought long and hard about the Rams. I kind of want to pick the Rams. I'm going to stick with the Niners. But by week 4, you could be hearing me say, fuck, I should have picked the Rams because they're a damn good football team.